right, Coach. Friday was what it was, tough loss. What was kind of the message to the team on Saturday and certainly this morning?
Yeah, it was a tough loss. Obviously, Vandegrift's a really good football team. They're not going to lose very many this year. I mean, they got it all. They got size, they got speed, they got toughness, they got the whole deal. They got a good program, a good coach, and the whole deal. And so it was tough for us. We felt like when we scored there in the second half and cut it to 14, we got a little bit of momentum. Just couldn't hold on to it, and they took it right back with that long touchdown run, so it was a tough loss, and it's we wanted it to sting a little bit for our kids over the weekend, and because it means a lot to them. They put so much into it, and it means something to them, and so it stung a little bit, but at the end of the day. We did some things better. Even though it wasn't the outcome that we wanted, we improved in certain areas, and really that's what we're after. We're after constant and steady improvements, and some areas of our game, we felt like we did get better. Obviously, there were some areas that got exposed as well, and when you play a really good football team, that's going to happen sometimes. So, we watched the film, we tried to learn from our mistakes, and now it's time to flip the script and get ready for Tascosa.
Without getting into a ton of specifics, because one, it's really none of our business. Were you guys missing players on Friday night? A couple key contributors? Yeah, we were. We had some illness on our team, some sickness and stuff, and so a couple guys weren't available to play, and they were a big part of what we do, and so they were dearly missed, but they'll be back ready to go real soon.
And looking at some positives, Vandegrift, they were very kind of sharp and kind of machine-like, didn't make mistakes. But then you look at the stats, and they were really similar. You even had more first downs. Do you feel like that's a game where if you are just on, kind of matching them in that respect, as far as being sharp, you could have been like a really tight game? Yeah, I think so. I mean, we obviously we didn't play our best, and it showed, but like I said, we did some good things. I mean, we moved the ball. Our third down offense wasn't very good. We had several opportunities on third down to stay on the field, and we weren't able to do that. We weren't great in the red zone, and that hurt us as well. We feel like against a good team like that, once you get down the red zone, you really got to capitalize. You got to take advantage of it, and we didn't do a very good job of that. We kicked a couple field goals, and that's good, but you're not going to beat a really good team kicking field goals, so we got to capitalize down in the red zone, and our third down offense has to be better. Defensively, we felt like we had a good play, and then kind of a bad play, and then a good play, and a bad play, and we couldn't really get them off the field on third down sometimes when we had the opportunity, and credit goes to them. I mean, they made a couple really good plays. One-handed catch, and the quarterback was able to scramble and, throw up a kind of a lob there at the towards this end zone, and the guy came up with it, and so obviously plays like that really hurt us, and so if we could have played better on third down, if we'd have played better in the red zone, and then kept some of those big plays at bay, we would have been right there, I think. And San Angelo had a really big game, kind of had to carry the load because, like you said, you were missing some guys, including a running back, and 25 carries, 131 yards, a touchdown, so receptions, the only touchdown I guess you scored.
Yeah.
So talk about what he did for you guys.
Yes, Sam's playing really well, man. He really is. He's been a bright spot all year. I think that he's one of those kids that's kind of an overachiever, really. I mean, he loves to play football, and kids like that love to play, a lot of times they bring a lot to the table for you, and so we've been real pleased with him, not only running the ball, but I think right now he's our leading receiver as well as far as catches. He's got the most catches right now. He's also blocking well in pass protection and some things. So he's been a real bright spot, and we're proud of what he's doing right now for us.
His 25 carries on Friday night, I'm assuming that's a good chunk of y'all's offense. Is that where you kind of would like to see him certainly moving forward, and that amount of carries? to kind of diversify a lot of different things and have him carrying the load there?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good, and we've always been an offense that kind of we try to take what the defense gives us, and from week to week it's going to vary. And you saw us against Montwood, we were a little bit more run heavy. Both Darius and Sam got a lot of the load there, and Tyler too. And then this week against Vandegrift, we threw it just a little bit more. But really, Bobby was the feature back this week, and when Darius is here, then those two guys, they kind of share the load a little bit, and so, but having to rely, so heavily on Bobby last Friday night, I thought he did a really good job.
Coach, you mentioned about your team was going in the inconsistency. How much of that part contribute to where y'all got behind 24-3, so you're not only playing offense and defense that's pretty good, but then you're going up against facing the battle of the scoreboard and the points, trying to keep up with it. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's once you fall behind like that, you're trying to play catch up, and that's never easy. But again, that's credit to them. I mean, they're a really good team, and they jumped on us, and it's you just try to play each play and try to fight back one play at a time, and I felt like for the most part our guys did that really well. I mean, we talk a lot about that in our program, just playing one play at a time, and regardless of what happens the previous play, you got to move on to the next one, and then the next one and the next one, and we try to stack good plays on top of good plays and just see what happens at the end. But we felt like when we cut it in the second half to 14, we had a shot, and we just weren't able to keep that momentum off that score. And so, again, credit goes to them for just being a really good football team.
Follow-up question is, how's your special teams doing after 3 weeks? You mentioned at the beginning of the outset of the season. So how are they coming along now, special teams?
Yeah, it's we've done some good things on our special teams, and we've done some things that have really hurt us. The snap over our head early in the game that's a killer. We just can't do that, can't afford to have that happen, and so we're working constantly on trying to improve those things. Our kickoff coverage has been a little suspect at times. We had people in position, and they just missed a tackle, and then once we miss a tackle, a big play happens, and so we've got to do a better job of keeping that at bay. We feel like our kicker Eric is kicking really well. We just got to give him a little bit more support in our kickoff coverage, and then get the snaps cleaned up on our punt. Besides the one snap that was a little high that we bobbled, his snaps were really good after that. But just that one play, that one snap, that one play that we bobble can be the difference in a win or loss, especially in district. So, we're constantly trying to improve those things, constantly trying to clean up those areas of our game.
Coach, as you get ready for this week against Amarillo Tascosa, how much was Vandegrift's athleticism, their team speed, how much was that just an eye-opening experience for your team as y'all get ready to face a really good football team this week?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they were. I mean, you look at them and they passed the eye test. They were 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" across the board. Their O-line was even bigger than that. Had good speed. I mean, that was a really good football team. And so, again, I think it was good that we were able to see that and play that. I think it's going to help us get ready for our district play. It's going to help us get ready for this week. But when you go against a team like that, that's very talented. It's your weaknesses get exposed. And so you try to use that as a learning tool going forward, and that's what we tried to do.
Speaking of getting ready for district play, you're playing Tascosa, who runs a flex bone, and that's something you're going to see, from Permian, and Tascosa, obviously, they run it really well. So is that something that you're kind of glad to get to see that to prepare for later on against Permian?
Yeah, it is. It's a great offense. I love watching them operate that offense. They do a good job of it, and they've done a good job for a long time running that offense. And like you said, Odessa, Permian, and Midland High going to run something very similar to Tascosa. So it's good for us to be able to play Tascosa in non-district, kind of see it in action, because it's a lot different than a modern day spread offense. Just the way that the veer operates with the dive, the quarterback element, and then the pitch element. It's a lot different. So you got to play assignment football. You got to be disciplined. Your eyes got to be in the right area. And so, it's going to be a big challenge to stop what they do. They do it really good. They're really efficient at it. They keep the ball away from you. And so, it's going to be a big challenge for us. But to answer your question, I mean, it's helpful to play them in non-district to try to help prepare us for our district opponents.
The fact that, they've played all 4 of the playoff teams from last year once they get through you guys. Considering that, I mean, obviously things change from season to season, but, it's kind of a way of maybe looking at it as a measuring stick of how your competition's going to be in district. Is that something that you guys have kind of kept an eye on or thought about at all?
Yeah, we look at the scores each week and do keep our eye on it. I've never been a guy, my whole career is like, it's never easy or never, you never want to really compare scores, but you do look at the scores, and it's hard not to get caught up in that, but at the end of the day, we really try not to compare scores and what this team did against this team and so on and so forth. But like you said, they played Abilene High, they played Midland Legacy, they played Permian, and now they're playing us. So I mean, they played a lot of our district teams, and so. They've beaten 3 of them, and they barely lost to Legacy, and really had a chance to win that game as well. And so it's going to be a big measuring stick for us as far as kind of where we're at, because this is such a good team. And so I think it'll be a good way for us to kind of see what we got going into district.
Sorry, Manny. On top of that, once district does roll around, is this something that you guys as a coaching staff can go back and look at film of games that you have that common opponent and say, okay, well, this is what they were able to do? And I know game plans change from week to week, but seeing what maybe those teams did against Tascosa, and maybe they were able to stop it or something worked for them, and maybe you guys can kind of take that to y'all's advantage.
No, you always watch all the film and try to steal ideas or see what worked well against an opponent, and so we certainly did that, but we feel like going into the game we're going to be prepared, and we've had a lot of experience playing Tascosa and playing this style of offense, and so we feel confident in our game plans and what we're going to try to do to stop their offense and what we're going to try to do to move the ball. And so so we'll just continue to try to get better this week and see what happens.
How clutch does your front 7 O-line, your D-line, linebackers, how clutch do these guys have to be this week in effort to slow them down? That's to stop them completely is one thing, but to slow them down at least.
Yeah, big time. The front 7 is going to be super important. Just they got to play assignment football. They got to know if they're a dive player, a quarterback player, a pitch player. They gotta hang up. They gotta hold up in there. Tascosa got some big bodies, and so they got to be able to hold up in there, and then. Linebacker-wise, we've got to come downhill and make plays on the dive and on the quarterback and different things. But, they are important for sure. But really, too, secondary-wise, it's important, too, because our safety is going to be running, sideline to sideline, trying to make plays inside out, both directions. And so I remember one year Brock Martin, one of our safeties, Brock Martin, when we played Tascosa, he had something like 25 tackles, in a game. So that player also is going to be important, just coming down and making plays. And then, the corners are going to be vital too, because they run so much play action and they try to get you to step up on their run, and then they throw it in there behind you. So, it's you've got to be disciplined on defense. Your eyes have got to be in the correct spot, and you just got to play assignment football, and you got to be disciplined enough to be where you're supposed to be on each of those plays. And so really, the front 7's important, but really the whole defensive 11 is going to be really important to try to slow those guys down.
And it seems like when you play a triple option kind of offense, it's kind of like a chess game with offense and defense, because got your assignments that you have, but also I think, tell me, you have to kind of make quick adjustments because the offense will see what you're doing to defend it, and then we'll make an adjustment, and then you have to quickly try to match it before they take advantage of it too much.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. You know, they have their base plays, and then they have different ways to block them based on what you're trying to do as a defense. And those guys are they've been doing it for a long time now at Tascosa, and they've kind of mastered it, really. I mean, they do a great job coaching it and executing it, and their kids do a good job just because they've been in that system for so long, you know. And but you're right. I mean, they're going to have different blocking schemes to try to counter what we're doing on defense, and so, you know, we got to be ready to adjust as well. And so, you know, again, we do have some experience playing against this type of offense. When, you know, we played Permian for a long time, and we played Tascosa several times as well. And so, you know, but you're right. I mean, it is kind of a chess match as far as making adjustments as the game goes on. That's going to be important for sure.
As the program, you know, like, you know, last year getting back in the Little Southwest Conference, familiar opponents, Tascosa, another familiar opponent, earlier this decade being in district with them, you know, it's been that y'all have played each other several times.
Right.
You know, I guess with that being said, for the program, like, how cool do you think it is that y'all are getting to play this old traditional, you know, matchup?
I enjoy playing Tascosa. I think Coach Plunk does a great job over there. He's a friend of ours, and we've gotten to know him over the years, and I got a ton of respect for him and the program that he's built over at Tascosa. But, you know, I enjoy playing them, and we're going to continue to play them on down the line. We've already agreed to keep playing, and so it's a good game for us. It's a good game for them, and you know, it's a lot of fun just to play people you're familiar with, you know. So, you know, we're excited about the opportunity and excited about the challenge of playing them again this year.
The other thing is, of course, you're getting to play in kind of a cool new stadium in Canyon, which is where West Texas A&M plays, and I think one publication rated it as the best D2 football stadium in the country. How much are you looking forward to seeing what that's all about? Yeah,
we're excited to play there. You know, we obviously it's a new stadium. And we enjoy playing at Dick Bivens, you know, the Amarillo ISD stadium too. But this is going to be really neat for our kids. It's almost identical to what we played at Abilene Christian last year. It's almost identical type stadium. But everything I've heard, it's great, you know. And so I think it's a neat experience for our kids when they get to play in a college stadium like that. I think it's just cool for them. It's a cool experience. It's something that they'll probably never forget. So. We're excited about it, you know, and it's you know, not much shorter, but it is a little bit shorter than going to Dick Bivens, so that helps too, you know. So we're excited about it and looking forward to it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.